Hi, my name is Nathan. You're watching Nice at Dice, and this is my month in gaming for July 2020. This is a relatively short video where I just cover some of the highlights of games that I played, some projects that I'm working on, the videos that I posted over the last month. So we'll get right into it and start by just covering some of the highlights of games that I played in July. So I played a couple of new games solo. So they weren't new games to me, but they just relatively recently came out with expansions that allowed you to play these games solo. So I gave each of these games a try. One was Mystic Vale, which is a card crafting game with a fantasy theme. It came out with an expansion called Nemesis that allowed you to play that game solo. So I tried that out. It's pretty fun. I've played quite a few games of it, and I did 2 videos this past month of me playing the solo version of that game. So if you'd like to see what the solo version of that game is like, or just what the game in general is like if you're not familiar with Mystic Vale, you can take a look at those videos and see what that's about. And then the other one was a game called Adrenaline, which is kind of a first-person arena combat style game interpreted as a board game. And they came out with a solo play DLC, which is kind of funny because they're sort of mimicking a video game type of game, and video games often have DLCs or downloadable content expansions. And of course that would be difficult to do with a board game, but in this case it literally is a DLC because it's just a little like 2 or 3 pages of rules that you can download and be able to play the game solo with components that you already have from the base game. So I tried that solo, and again I did a video recording of that so you can see what that game is like and what it's like to play it solo if you like. My sister and I have been playing Legacy of Dragonholt over the past couple of months, and we finished it up relatively early this month. And I did a video review of that, which you can also see, get our thoughts on what that game was like. And the two of us have started playing through the Century series. So if you're not familiar, the Century series is a trilogy of games by Emerson Matsuichi. And the first one is called Century Spice Road, and the second one is called Century Eastern Wonders, and the third one is called Century the New World. And basically all 3 of the games are about basically trading like mercantile activities in 3 different eras of history. And so in Century Spice Road, you are basically exchanging cubes of one color for cubes of another color, dealing with 4 different colored cubes that represent, I think, different spices in that game. So you're trading these different cubes in order to get a certain combination of cubes, and then you trade in that combination of cubes for points, basically. And you're doing that same thing in all 3 games, but in Spice Road, you're doing that strictly with just some clever card play and hand management in order to manipulate the cubes and trade these cubes for that cubes, etc. And then in Century Eastern Wonders, you have a little boat on a map with like all these little islands, and you're moving around the map to these different islands, and at different islands you can exchange these cubes for those cubes, etc. So still kind of the same goal, but the way that you get to it is different. And then in Century the New World, again, same basic concept, except now instead of the card play or moving a boat around, instead you have like a map with different locations on it, and you have these basically little worker guys that you can send out to these different locations to produce cubes or trade cubes of one color for another color, etc. So you have those 3 different games, and we've played through all 3 games. And then they also provide rules that let you combine the games in different combinations. So we played through all 3 games, and we played the rule set that combines Spice Road with Eastern Wonders, which means you're moving your boat around the map to these little different islands in order to exchange cards or exchange cubes but then you also have the cards from Spice Road that you can use to manipulate the cubes as well. So we've done that. Over the next month, we're going to be trying the other 3 combinations. So combining Spice Road with New World, combining Eastern Wonders with New World, and then combining all 3 together. And probably in late August or early September, I'll be doing a review of the entire series, all 3 games, and all the possible combinations of those games, comparing them and seeing, which ones are the most enjoyable, or which ones might be best for specific types of players or circumstances, that kind of thing. So you can look forward to that coming up. Also got another game in of Hotshots, which is still a favorite cooperative game of mine. And I played a game of Chronicles of Crime, specifically the Devil's Kitchen scenario, and I recorded that, and you can watch the video of that. There are spoilers in that for that scenario, because I played through the whole scenario in the recording. And I've noticed that that particular video has not been extremely popular in comparison to other videos that I've made, and I imagine some of that is because of the spoiler aspect of it. But one of the things that I thought about, and I've never done this before, so I'd be curious to get any feedback from my viewers to see how you feel about this. But I was thinking that in that sort of situation where you have a game that is scenario based and would thus, a video of it would thus provide spoilers, would it be more interesting to you to watch it played live and to be able to sort of collaborate through comments with the whole process of me trying to solve the case? I've never tried doing a video live, but I know that there is the ability to do that. So just opening that up as a question to you, if that's something you'd be interested in. And we'll go from there. I did get rid of one game this past month, part of my sort of ongoing effort to sort of refine and scale back my collection of games. The game that I got rid of this past month was a role-playing game called Star Wars Saga Edition. So it's the last edition of the Star Wars role-playing game published by Wizards of the Coast using their D20 system that's popular in Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and a whole bunch of other games. There is a newer Star Wars RPG from Fantasy Flight Games, and I have that on my shelf over here. So I had both Star Wars RPGs. I'd played the Saga edition from Wizards of the Coast at least half a dozen times. I've enjoyed it. But I have since invested in the newer RPG. That's the one that's currently supported by publishers, and I didn't see the need to hang on to both anymore, so I let that go. As far as videos that I did all the videos I've already mentioned of my playthroughs of different games. I also did a video on the top 3 social deduction games. Again, this is just my personal opinion and just from games that I have played, but it's basically my 3 favorite social deduction games. And I did a short video called What's New, package from the BGG Store, where basically I just opened up a package that I got from the BGG Store, looked at some promos that I had purchased from there, and then just sort of talked about BGG or BoardGameGeek.com, that site, and some of the resources available on that site and how those resources can help enhance the value of the games that you have, or help you make selections for games that you want to buy in the future. So I covered all of that, and that's basically been it. So it's overall been a good month for me. I've played quite a few games. I'm really expanding my opportunities to hook up with people over Zoom and play games online, and so that's been fun. Another game I didn't mention was Spectre Ops. That I had played that I think last month, and I probably mentioned it, but I played it again this month with the same group of people, so that's been a fun experience too. So I've been doing that. And then also I feel pretty good about my video content this month. Each month my goal is to put out somewhere between 4 and 8 videos, basically 1 or 2 videos a week, and I got 7 videos this month, so feel pretty good about that. But again, overall, I really appreciate the support of all of you guys who are watching. It's really encouraging to get your likes and your comments, especially because any feedback on my videos is definitely appreciated. But anyhow, that's my month of gaming in review. And again, my name is Nathan. You're watching Nice at Dice. Thank you so much for watching, and you enjoy the rest of your day.